William Cooper Hunneman founded a company that manufactured fire engines in Roxbury, Massachusetts in 1792. Mr. Hunneman had served as an apprentice at Paul Revere's foundry. These machines were hand-pumped by a crew of men, who also hauled them around. They featured 2 cylinders that threw water from a tub that, at first, was filled with buckets. In 1823, Mr. Hunneman began producing hand tubs that were capable of suction. Now, water could be drawn from ponds, streams, rivers, or cisterns, which are underground storage reservoirs. Hunnemans were highly regarded pieces of firefighting equipment, and they were shipped all over the world. In 91 years, the Hunneman Company made 716 hand tubs. Some of them have been preserved. Many of those are in museums or on display in municipal buildings. They are fascinating to look at, but incapable of being used anymore. A very small percentage of them have been maintained or restored and can still throw water. An even smaller percentage of those are used by organizations called Veteran Firemen's Associations, which are comprised of men and women who aren't necessarily firefighters. They use their beloved machines in the New England States Veteran Firemen's League to compete in firemen's musters. There are 2 classes in that league. They are determined by the size of the cylinder. All of the B-class machines that routinely compete are Hunnemans. One of the most knowledgeable young men in the NESVFL is Alan McMillan. Alan was elected foreman of the Gerry 5 VFA by its membership in 2013 when he was 22 years old. He spent a great deal of time familiarizing himself with the machine, built in 1845 for the town of Marblehead. In an attempt to coax every bit of performance out of the Gerry, he took it apart and rebuilt it, cleaning and repairing everything he could. He met with some success and was ceremoniously dunked in the water tank, a mustering tradition for the winning foreman. While he had almost no experience in mustering, he brought with him an advanced mechanical aptitude and an abundance of enthusiasm. Alan performed 2 engine swaps on 1990's Ford Thunderbirds as a teenager.
The designs of the Hunnemans specifically were all slightly different. They all have their own different personalities. And you can see that on the muster field. That's history. You don't see that when sitting in a museum. How it pumps, how it functions. We're making history just by using them. Hunneman made fine pieces of machinery.
Adjustable too big?
No, just these machines were made by people, not machines.
Hunneman hand tubs are a direct and functioning link to the early industrial history of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. They are also an indirect link to Paul Revere. Their preservation is important work. That work also happens to be a whole lot of fun.
That bench came out. That's the thing is, that's weird, because there's no play in that. Alright, I got a game plan.
A fascinating book on the company and its machines was written by Edward R. Tufts. It includes information about every hand tub and steam engine that the William Hunneman Company manufactured.